Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about why emotional symptoms can come back. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. It's such a common scenario, and so many women contact me to say they've managed to control their emotional symptoms during the menopause. They're on an even keel. It may well be that they're now post-menopause, and suddenly a range or combination of emotional symptoms come back and they're absolutely lost. Why is this happening? So there can be a lot of different reasons. So I thought today I would go through them and also look at the things that you can do to help yourself. So the main emotional symptoms we're looking at would be things like anxiety, low mood, mood swings, anger, surprising crying, just, for no reason at all, loss of confidence, feeling unsociable, and maybe feeling grief for some reason. So what can the causes be? The important thing to realize is the menopause isn't a static state. You don't just get there and then that's it. And our hormones don't always fall nicely and in harmony with each other. So our hormone fluctuation can sometimes go up and down like a yo-yo. And especially at the beginning of the menopause, when there's still a bit of hormonal flux, your estrogen especially, it can suddenly dip very, very suddenly, and that can then open up all these emotional issues. It can be due to general day-to-day stress. If we are stressed generally just by everyday life, not necessarily anything in particular, that can put extra stress on our nervous system, and that can then trigger flight or fight, and that can lead to a resurgence of emotional issues that we thought maybe we were on top of. It can be poor sleep. We know that even just a couple of nights of poor sleep can have a huge impact on the nervous system. So if you have gone, maybe everything's been okay, but suddenly you find that you're not sleeping again, that can be enough of a trigger to bring all these emotional issues back into view. It can be heightened emotions as well. So if something happens, so it may well be that you experience grief of any kind, maybe to do with relationship breaks down, maybe you're worrying about your family or specific family members or friends, then again, that little bit of extra stress can be enough to tip over your adrenals, your nervous system, and that can lead to everything else coming back up. It can also be due to liver function, and a lot of women do tell me that over the winter holidays in January, things seem to get worse. And it's not just necessarily the bad weather. It's because over the holiday period, we may have been drinking alcohol or more alcohol. We would have been overindulging in heavily fat and sugar foods. We're not getting our nice salads and our fresh foods. It can also be on holiday as well, and this is quite a strange one. You go on holiday to relax, but you're maybe again eating and drinking more, and when you get back off holiday, instead of feeling relaxed, you feel worse, you feel tired, you feel much more emotional. And it's just because your poor old liver has had all this extra stress put upon it, and that in itself can affect the emotions too. For those of you that experience winter seasons, then again, this can be due to low vitamin D. If you're not getting out and about, if you're not getting plenty of sunshine and sunlight on the skin, then your vitamin D can plummet. And we know that vitamin D reserves can decrease the older you get. So if you have a combination of age and lack of sunlight, then your vitamin D levels can drop quite considerably. And one of the things that low vitamin D will do is to cause anxiety and stress. It could be other nutritional deficiencies, as I mentioned before, if you're overindulging. So if your diet, maybe you're not looking after it quite so well, if you're skipping meals, if you're going on a diet. And this is a really interesting one. A lot of women tell me when they're on low calorie, low fat diets with lots of exercise, their emotional issues come to the fore. And again, if you're not giving your body the nutrition it needs, that's going to affect your nervous system. And it could also be due to dehydration and not taking supplements. The other thing that can happen too is that we have areas in the brain that specifically deal with coping with emotions. And when our estrogen falls, these emotional coping things don't work as well. So you may find that you have controlled your emotions, and we women are very good at it. You know, we try not to get angry. We don't talk when we feel that we should talk, and maybe we don't say things that we feel. So we're very good at masking our true emotions and how we really feel. But low estrogen at this point in the perimenopause and the menopause can lessen that control. So these emotions that we've tried to hide away can come out as well. So it can be more to do with the anger. Anger's a really common one. It can be due to the crying, and it can also be due just to feeling really, really low. Memories sometimes come back from the past, and obviously that will affect our mood as well. So there can be several different ways and mechanisms by which our emotions can suddenly come back. So it's always a good idea here is to look at when these things appeared, what was going on in your life, and you might find a clue. You may well find that you haven't been looking after yourself so well. You may find you've been extra busy, you've been putting extra pressure on yourself. You may find that you haven't been drinking enough water, or you haven't been sleeping well. So very often it's a good idea to try and find a clue, because it then makes it easier to fix at the end of the day. So the things that can help here are, don't forget the basics. So that's getting a good night's sleep, eating well, remember the water every single day, get regular sensible exercise, and that rest and relaxation. If you're in northern climes where it's dark winters, remember your vitamin D supplements are a really important one. Herbs and other supplements that can help would be a magnesium, 150 milligrams maybe twice a day, vitamin B complex. Passion flower is a lovely herb for helping with emotions and general stress and anxiety. You've also got the herb valeriana, which is maybe a little bit stronger. If you're out and about a lot and you find that your emotions tend to just sort of swell up out of the blue, we do a lovely passion flower spray that you can carry in your handbag. And of course, don't forget the flower essences. These are so lovely for emotional issues. And again, they're in a little bottle. For those of you who are maybe not in the UK and Ireland, most countries have a range of flower essences, and they are worth checking out because they can work so well at just helping you to cope with things that you're maybe finding a little bit difficult with. So I hope you found this one helpful. For those of you out there that have experienced this, please share what you did to help yourself. We would really love to know. And until then, I will see you next week for another edition of A Vogel Talks Menopause.